That was fun.
Yeah, I didn't
we'll
see
talk
that.
about that.
Well,
We'll talk
I saw
about
you
that.
guys say that.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Dude, I'm so good. So good.
Awesome.
It's been a good weekend.
I found this. And it's exciting.
Dude, what a dope game. I used to play the shit out of that when
Oh
it
my
came
god.
out.
I had it on Xbox 360, and then I didn't have an Xbox 360 for a long time. I've never played it on PlayStation, but so now I'm gonna get all the trophies for that, and I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
I haven't played. I need to get my Guitar Hero chops back up, but I definitely beat it on Expert, so I'm gonna do that again.
Hell yeah, dude! I used to. I had the whole Guitar Hero drum set with the double. I had the double bass pedal, man. Like I was.
Now that you say that, I'm probably not going to get the platinum because I don't have the drums.
You probably need all the instruments. Yeah,
to get the platinum, you probably need all the instruments. But that's okay. I'll get all the guitar ones.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
If I'm not here, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Gotta wait for that adapter to show up so I can actually play the damn thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
I'm excited.
A lot happened this week in wrestling,
right?
Gents.
So much.
Like, I'm actually kind of excited to come in here a little bit. Everybody had a good week though. Good Fourth. Everybody still got all 10 fingers.
Yes, all
good.
Who doesn't love Independence Day? Good Lord, what a good time! It's like, hey, everybody, you get the day off. Stay home, grill hot dogs and burgers, and drink beer. It's like, did you guys invent this for me? God, I love America.
Hey, so Tom, I saw something happen on the freeway today, and I couldn't wait to come in here and tell you all about
what happened. Because now I want to know.
Without getting you too far down a rabbit hole here, okay? I'm gonna eventually interrupt you, just so you're aware. So I was driving on the interstate today, and I was. In traffic, we were going, whatever. And this, souped up little Honda Civic passed me, and on the back, it had a bumper sticker that said, "Fuck Biden." And one car in front of me, there was a vehicle that had a Biden for president sticker. And at 80 miles an hour, this Honda Civic starts honking its horn and going like this, right? Roll. Next thing you know, the two passenger side windows come down and 5 middle fingers come out.
That just makes me happy. Well, that's one of those things that fills, like I said, that fills that empty void in my heart, my black dark heart that just is like it yearns for that I love it when people get karma. I love karma, and I just love when people get it.
But it was opposite though. You're the fuck Biden people were the ones with the.
Oh, they were the ones with the fingers.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know what? Fuck them. I don't care about them. Look, I'm not okay. Not to get down the biggest rabbit hole. I'm not the biggest. I clearly voted for Joe Biden. I mean, I'd have voted for literally anybody who wasn't Donald Trump, but I don't dislike Joe Biden. Huh?
Could have voted for Kanye West.
I did.
I mean, anybody who was going to win, who wasn't, not throw it away. Let's put it that way. I would have preferred somebody who was maybe younger than 70. Let's just go with that. And next time that's where I'm gonna put my criteria. Not Trump, younger than 70. Let's just go with that. But everybody wants to be dicks about
Right. Listen, pal. It was funny.
I hope he eventually O'Doyle rules off of the bridge. O'Doyle rules.
So of course, my wife's texting. She was writing an email, right? And I'm like, "Did you see that? Did anybody else see that?" And the boys in the back, and he goes, "Yeah, Daddy." Mama, you didn't see nothing, bud. You're just agreeing with me to agree with me. Go team!
He was with you though.
He was definitely in it to win it.
Got
you. I love the boy. What a good boy.
So, Tom, to kind of build off of what you were saying there, right? Under 70, kind of building for the future, right?
I'd take 68, maybe. That'd be good, right?
How about Vince McMahon visited the Performance Center this week?
Speaking of old men, how old's he now?
135?
At least, right? He looks like a wrinkled ball sack is what he looks like.
He doesn't age at this point. It's just been the same events for
man. His eyes, you can see it. His eyes are like.
I feel like he's looked this way though for a long time.
Yeah, but he looks real drawn out, bud. Real drawn out.
Yeah, it's more like he's got the same haircut, but it's not. I don't know. His eyeballs have aged intensely. I'll put it that way.
So, this is kind of a big deal, though, right?
It is. No, you're right.
Vince McMahon doesn't generally go to the Performance Center.
I don't know that he knew where it was for the longest time.
That's probably fair. But I guess
he might still not. Somebody drove him there.
Yeah,
somebody picked him up.
That's true. Yes.
Well, his plane was spotted at the Pittsburgh airport this week.
It was indeed. Yeah. I didn't meet him. I didn't see him.
A good friend of mine who took that picture, and I said,
"You did? Yeah.
Thanks for that inside info, pal." So being down at the PC, I think that's pretty cool. Apparently, there was the mood behind the scenes concerning Vince's visit were not all that happy and upbeat because after all, they are in the middle of firing half the company right now. So
goddamn terrified. They were goddamn terrified.
Yeah, something along those lines. I believe the word that was used was reserved in the article that I read.
I think I read that article as well. That was the word.
I could see why.
Puckered buttholes, I would imagine.
Yeah, but by all accounts, it was a very positive visit. So apparently Vince went down to scout some talent, some current main roster talent, as well as, guys that are in the actual NXT developmental program, as well as on NXT TV. There weren't a lot of names that were thrown around for this. Sasha Banks was really the only name that we had heard that was confirmed to be at these scouting workouts and stuff. It feels to me like, Vince is trying to retool the main roster a little bit after all these releases. And maybe he has finally come to the realization that his product has become stale and almost unwatchable on Monday night. And that they're
I don't watch it, so I wouldn't know. Maybe it's good. No, I don't know.
I've kind of just given up until you guys decide to stop shitting on it and say, hey, there's something good. You should go watch this, Jared.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I can't say if there. It might
be. It's funny because I'm playing the same game. I'm waiting for one of the dirt sheets or something or something that I listen to tell me, hey, Raw was really good this week. You should really go check it out. But I to this point haven't heard anybody say that. So
that's 3 hours you can't get back.
So. Yeah, no, it's a hard 3 hours to watch too because it's not a quick watch. It's not a like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Remember when Raw would be over, you're like, I could so watch more Raw. Like as a kid. Now it's like when Raw is over, like I could have so watched less Raw like an hour and a half earlier. Yeah. But it's good. I mean, he needs to get some people on the old Raw. Yeah. I know that. Go ahead, Walt. Let's because I know where you're going with this.
I'm just saying, like, we're getting ready to get back out on the road here, and you want to put your best foot forward. Why not go down and visit and see if we can't get some fresh storylines and some things that like we as the fans have been asking. Derek, how long has it been since the Authority came out and cut the promo that the the WWE Universe was now the Authority? How long ago was that promo? We were just talking about that a couple of weeks ago.
But don't they do that? It seems like every few years, and I'd say it has been a few years at this point. But
it was 2 years at this point, and they blamed it on Baron Corbin.
At least I can think about that happened. It just keeps happening. Like, okay, whatever, guys. We all know nothing's going to change.
So I asked that question because I've got to feel like, maybe they're starting to feel a little bit of this pressure that AEW is kind of putting on them with a more fan-friendly kind of product. Not to everybody, but, the general consensus is that the AEW people listen to what the fans want to see, right? And they're doing things for the fans, and maybe WWE is gonna take a page out of that book and see if we don't get a little bit of retooling on these rosters. Regardless, I think fresh new storylines with fresh new faces is going to be the best possible thing to happen, especially on Monday night.
It can't get any worse from what it seems. So why not throw something new and fresh out there and see what happens? And I could definitely see some NXT talent getting pulled up. Obviously, I'm sure things from NXT UK that not a ton of people. I mean, I don't.
Well, they pulled
NXT
up.
I don't know how much you guys watch
Piper
it,
Niven, which apparently, despite as crappy as it could be, is getting high marks not only from the fans but from Vince as well.
Yeah, I did see that today.
I do need to go back and rewatch some of that. I did watch. I watched a couple of clips, and I was like, "Oh, this might be something worth watching." So there's the sprinklings and the fires are starting to be lit for maybe something to be worth watching. So maybe by SummerSlam, Raw will be a good show, which would be good.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what you were saying, though, both of you, we talk about NXT UK and how, obviously Piper Niven got pulled up. Let's talk about Blair Davenport, the biggest free agent signing that WWE had this past summer, as far as the women's division, with B. Presley. You want to talk about somebody that can get some work done, down in NXT UK and then come straight to the main roster and help that women's division. That's definitely.
She was in AEW, was she not, for a little while?
Yeah, she was for a minute. Yeah, pre-pandemic.
And I guess COVID, that she just didn't stay. That's probably what happened.
The botch on it. She went back home.
But
she looked that up before the show.
She was the best worker in AEW for a while.
She'd be a welcome sight to have back. That's for sure.
She ain't back. She ain't coming back, buddy. if you sign on, them's be 3-year deals at minimum. So it's going to be a little while unless they decide to let her go, which they know who wants her, and they're probably not going to let her go.
I just think it's so funny though that they can never keep their names. Like, come on, guys.
Well, WWE has to own the name. Well, that's not always true. Matt Riddle is still Matt Riddle.
Yeah, AJ Styles obviously kept his name, which he's obviously special.
Keith Lee is actually Keith Lee, which might be why he's not on TV right now.
Well.
But yeah, no, there's a few.
And I think that we've all heard the reports that, like, if Vince doesn't create it, he doesn't want to mess with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that, and like, take somebody like Aleister Black, for instance, out there, he made a name for himself on the independents as Tommy End. And then, now he's Aleister Black and now he's Tommy End, maybe. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Vince gotta put his little Vinnie Mac magic on it as he would think. But sometimes they drop the ball, and Dewdrop is definitely a ball drop on that.
I was going to ask you guys about that. So did that actually happen? Because I'd heard that there was talks about changing her name to that.
So it doesn't seem like that's going to be a long time. That's just what what's her name's calling her. But
Eva Marie.
That's just what Eva's calling her. It seems like that's not going to be the long term. Like it seems like she's going to turn on her. That's what they're teasing at the moment, allegedly. And her name may not remain Dewdrop much longer. She'll probably, because WWE does own the Viper Piper Niven name. That's not her real name. It's not her indie name. So they own that name. So she could flip back to that, and that could be part of the storyline, and it could be good. Truth be told, I really like Piper Niven. I love her work. At like nobody in the women's division works like that. Period. Nobody looks like that. It's she's Vader, right? Like
I'll give you that.
Like that's the. I mean that's so they'll be so unique in the women's division, right? Like that makes her like immediately like so different from everybody else. And if you think of the top stars in the women's division, there's nobody else like them. So, that's really where like, she fits in to where it's just like, yeah, she's a big girl that works like a big girl, and she's Vader, right? She's, just it's good. I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, it should definitely be fun to watch moving forward. I mean, but But let's circle back. Let's finish talking about this thing with the PC, because I feel like, what do we think is going to come out of this visit? I mean, there's got to be opinions amongst all three of us that.
Well, there was a title drop on Tuesday.
Yeah, there
was
a title
say
drop.
The same thing.
So they've already grabbed. They already quickly grabbed a few names.
Yeah, so they're bringing Brodus Clay up, and then, they're probably going to bring Karrion Kross up.
Bronson Reed for sure. Love
That's
Bronson.
What I said, Brodus Clay.
Bronson Reed, love the man.
Brodus Clay.
Good squish some people. It's thick boy summer.
The Funkadactyl?
Yeah, the Funkadactyl. Yeah,
it's thick boy summer boys.
They're the same person. Pal.
Sure, I know.
I mean,
but it's thick boy summer boys. But yeah, you're right. No, they're acquiring some talent, and I'm very excited for.
You never know. It could be Tommy End might show up.
He might.
Maybe he shows up as Tommy End. That'd be something.
He did show up on NXT one time as Tommy End. Because he was on NXT UK, yeah, for sure. And then he came back and was repackaged with Zelina Vega, but he showed up by himself as Tommy End one time. This was like way back in like 2016 or something. It was a long time ago.
Right at the beginning of his whole shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of good things that could come from this visit. It's just yet to be seen. Do we make the right calls? Because, I mean, we all know that we watch NXT and we see things, and Vince probably watches NXT and sees completely different things. I mean,
well, he's not necessarily looking for guys that that can put on great matches. He's got those guys. He doesn't need another Seth Rollins or Dolph Ziggler, He doesn't need Bobby Roode. He doesn't, he's got those guys.
Right.
What he needs is somebody he can put out there who looks different, who will sell T-shirts, and who can get over. And Karrion Kross could probably do that, I think, especially if we're bringing Scarlett with him.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
I think Karrion Kross is a big time seller if he comes up to the main roster.
I agree.
I think merchandise,
Yeah, I agree, and I think the whole dark gimmick and the whole his work with Johnny Gargano this week puts it got him over for me this week. Like I was this week. He got over with me.
Well, yeah.
I'm excited for the upcoming match next week. Well, tomorrow, actually, at this point.
Tomorrow, yeah. He got over with me this week.
Mm-hmm. And that's big because, I mean, you've been kind of, on the fence about him the last few weeks. And especially since he kind of started changing his gimmick into like a lovable badass, maybe almost.
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like he was bland and dry before, but I think he's finally maybe he's more comfortable now. Maybe they just let him do some stuff, or maybe maybe Johnny Gargano is just like no. Let me get this guy over. I can do it.
Yeah,
because Johnny's good.
Johnny's a man. That's
right?
That's little Pee Wee's buddy, little Johnny G.
I like Johnny G. Johnny Wrestling.
Yeah,
from Cleveland, Ohio. Spent a lot of time in Cleveland.
Derek just likes him because he's taller than him. That's all.
Yeah. I'm taller than Marco Stunt too, but that doesn't mean I like him.
Everybody's taller than Marco Stunt,
right? My kid's taller than Marco Stunt.
So so I was gonna say my 8-year-old is, but that's even better because
Speaking of undersized talent, how about Adam Cole says he's hoping and praying for a match with Samoa Joe in NXT?
Yeah, baby.
I don't think it's gonna happen, bud.
No, you're probably not.
No.
You're probably right, but I think I've said this before. I don't know how many matches Samoa Joe has left in the tank. The man is 45 years old. Clearly has been struggling his entire, at least main roster career with some injuries. So, I don't know. I don't know how many matches he's got left in the tank. I would love for one of them to be against Adam Cole. I don't know if that's going to be the case. It might be a Karrion Kross. It might be, maybe a Finn Balor again. Just some final send-off stuff. But I am enjoying, I have to say out loud, I am loving Samoa Joe's role right now because he gets 3-4 segments a show. And I can't fault that, Hey Joe, you want to be in 3 or 4 segments every week? Yeah, I want him in 3 or 4 segments every week. So
Tom, you brought up Finn Balor. Can anybody tell me where this man is?
He just got married. I think he had a baby. He's on family leave.
I suppose then that's allowable.
Yeah, so he got married like right as COVID started, I think. So they didn't honeymoon, and then he put NXT on his shoulders and carried it like a man with massive shoulders through through a fucking pandemic, through the worst pandemic any of us are going to live through. And
yes,
you know, not only did he carry it, he put on an awesome live brand new television show every week through a pandemic where, let me remind you, that 600,000 of our fellow Americans died. So, you know, he deserved some time off. So Finn Balor, I mean, the man carried the NXT brand on his shoulders for whatever, 14 months, however long he was champion, and building the champion and facing other people and just getting involved in feuds. Plus, I mean, he got hurt like once in the middle of it and then showed back up like a couple weeks later. Like, dude carried everything on his shoulders. Man deserves some time off to be with his new wife, have a honeymoon, because he didn't get to do that. He had to put the NXT brand on his shoulders and run. He's a good runner, by the way. And then he also had to he had a baby, so he's a new daddy. Yeah. And we know that is a rather difficult change in life.
Sure is.
Especially if you're a guy who fights other dudes, you know, in a predetermined fashion for a living. So kudos to him for getting some time off. He'll be back, I'm sure, and he'll come back in a big way.
He'll come back main roster. That's going to be the big way.
Well, it's good to hear it wasn't an injury or anything. I was ready to put the men's picture on.
I mean, I think somebody needs to be in that main event picture, because there ain't nobody now. Anyway, what else are we talking about?
Hey, so sad news this past week.
Yeah.
The Patriot, Del Wilkes, passed away at 59 years old.
That's so young. I mean, not that he was like the biggest like wrestling influence ever, but like,
no, but he was in the main event picture for a little while.
Oh yeah, for a little bit. For a minute.
Hey,
cup of coffee.
Fun fact. Del Wilkes, the Patriot. Dun, 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 dun. That was actually his entrance music before it was Kurt Angle's entrance music.
That is fun. That is a fun fact.
Yeah. So
look at Walt with his facts.
Yeah. Hey,
Del Wilkes.
Yeah, that's that was sad to see come across my thing, because I know he was taking some indie bookings as early as a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, he wasn't super old. Like he's a guy that was over. I remember him being at Comic-Cons and stuff just a couple years ago too. So
yeah,
not necessarily. That's very unwelcome news. I'll put it that way. I
didn't get a chance to meet him, Tom.
No, unfortunately I didn't. I just, I knew who he was, but it's like I wasn't going to stand in line and like pay $20 to meet him necessarily at the time.
If you wouldn't spend all your money on Virgil every time you're there.
Huh? Well, Virgil, there's no line. You just walk up. I don't have anything signed by Virgil. I've just talked to him.
You just keep going back through the line, paying $20. No. There is no line.
No, you just stand there and you're like, Virgil, I thought you were great, man. And he's like, oh, well, thank you very much. And then you just talk to him about like, so what you doing?
Remember this one time? Whenever
$20 for the photo. $20 for the photo, 30 for the combo. I don't care who your daddy is, honey.
Exactly.
Oh man, that picture was hilarious. I don't remember who sent that, but that was great.
So that's good stuff, Virgil. Hey, so I do want to take a second here. All right. Did everybody see Jon Moxley shaved his head this week?
I did. Well, it was going anyway. He really just needed to take the plunge, and he did. So good for him. He grew his beard out a little more too.
Yeah, he sure did. Doesn't he? Kind of reminds me of somebody, the way that he looks right now. And it's like, I can't quite.
A guy? Is it a big guy?
It is a big guy.
It's a big guy. Maybe maybe somewhat of a meat castle. Guy who's a meat castle.
No, that's not it.
Not that guy. Not Braun Strowman.
No, not Braun Strowman.
I mean, how many options do you have for hair and beard?
I don't know.
I mean,
cut the guy some slack.
Listen, here's the thing. So I'm sure you guys have seen this thing making its rounds on the internet. Everybody is out here looking like Triple H right now.
Yeah,
you got Kenny Omega rocking the, the chops, the Lemmy chops.
Mm-hmm.
You got, and then Bobby Roode, like was another one that was brought up wearing his suit, and and then Dolph Ziggler with his suits, and and then you got Moxley, with the shaved head and the beard and the
current Triple H.
Yeah, current so
2021 Triple H.
Yeah,
I mean, Kenny commented on this, and I didn't see what he said, but
he said it was more like Harley Race or something like that.
Okay, well,
I mean, I guess, but
yeah,
everybody else looks like Triple H. Honestly, the Bucks look terrible. Their facial hair is just
what's up with my man coming out here
great.
looking like Joe Exotic?
Right? No, yeah, they don't look like Triple H. They look like Joe Exotic.
Hilarious.
They don't look. There's
man.
I mean, look, it's heel facial hair for sure.
Dude,
Like
even Michael Nakazawa has a mustache. It's
Cheap
great.
Heat, pal.
It's hilarious.
Michael Nakazawa has go away heat with me.
You know who's responsible for all these goddamn rating drops? That bitch Carol Baskin.
That bitch. Hey, actually, their ratings were back up. It was back on Wednesday again. It was like 850K.
Yeah,
they did well.
Back to their standard. Their standard of. I guess those people are just watching TNT at 10 o'clock on.
Even myself, who is a guy that actually tries to tune in and watch it, man, I couldn't keep it straight. His one day's a Saturday, one day's a Friday.
And they say that they always say that wrestling fans will find where you're at, but it might be too late. And it's like that. I feel like that's kind of the deal here, right? I mean, you bounce around, and you move here, you move there. You're on Saturday, you're on Friday, you're on Thursday, whatever. You're on at 9, you're on at 10. It's hard to keep track of that stuff, right? I really liked whenever they were steady for like 3 or 4 weeks, that they were 10 o'clock on Friday, because I was able to tune in because I'm home. I'm coming right off of SmackDown, the end of SmackDown, sit down, AEW's on. Good. Let's watch it. For me, that was a great time spot. But apparently not for the 600 and some odd thousand people that
lots of other people that weren't watching it. More than half their fan base that was not.
So, I mean, good for them that, obviously Wednesdays are working for them. And
it ain't going to be Wednesday, though.
Well, I mean,
maybe TBS will be on Wednesday. I don't know. Does everybody get TBS?
I do.
I mean, I do too, but I get a lot of channels.
But TNT is a national broadcast channel.
Yeah, it's the broadcast channel. It's like TBS is like cable.
Yeah, and I don't
know if that makes a difference anymore, though. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know that it makes a difference though anymore.
I mean, we're fixing to find out.
I mean, I got TBS as a kid. It used to play reruns of like The Fresh Prince and Family Matters and TGIF and Saved by the Bell on Saturdays.
TBS was a good station when we were growing up.
It was a super station. It was super.
Super.
You know what else was super?
Nikki Cross?
Jim Ross.
Nikki Cross looks terrible.
WWE Dynamite?
WWE Dynamite. Listen, that was like a critical ending. That was like a critical ending too. Like they were like building a serious storyline from what I saw. And then you get JR. He's like, "Oh, get your tickets over at AEWTix.com. You don't want to miss a minute of WWE Dynamite."
Mm-hmm.
Soon, it's coming.
I think that's why we had Jericho lead off. Starting to work on the mic a little bit more and more. I think we can see eventually him transition over to the desk.
That's coming. WWE Dynamite.
You're gonna ride that boat until it sinks.
Oh, I see what Tom's trying to say now.
I'm gonna ride that boat till it comes to dock, buddy. I'm right. It's gonna. Dude,
it ain't gonna happen. That's
coming to fruition at some point. It won't be WWE Dynamite. It'll just be WWE bought AEW and fired Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks. That'll be it. You're fired. Hey, Shane McMahon's in charge now. Fuck y'all.
So
Cody can stay. We like him.
AEW, right? Out here swallowing up released WWE talent.
Like it's whale semen.
But you know who they didn't? You know who they didn't get?
Yep, sure do.
Didn't get Zelina Vega.
I was going to say, I know who Andrade's secret announcement isn't this week. Know exactly who it ain't.
So let's talk about this for a hot second. So Zelina Vega makes her triumphant return to SmackDown with a lot of fanfare from Sonya Deville, if I might add.
I popped.
I was pretty pumped. I mean, I wasn't watching live, and I was. I texted in the group, and I said, I texted a picture of her. I said, Tom, can you confirm this? Yes, sir, I can.
I popped.
So
I was behind, actually. I was like, I will be able to in a minute. And then it happened. And I'm like,
that's pretty cool.
I was behind. But it was a triumphant return.
So let's talk about this for a minute. So I know that like we've kind of been critical of her in-ring performance, prior to her release, right? How do we feel about the spotlight that she's been put in, where she's coming in and she's going directly into the women's Money in the Bank match? I mean, she did lose on Friday night via roll-up to Liv Morgan, but
she's not going to win. I'm just glad. Look, I think it's good that she's back in the fold. I don't necessarily think that she's going to be I think she's going to go back to what her role was previously, just with other talent. I don't think that she's going to necessarily be a full-time wrestler. I think she will wrestle, but I think she's going to be more managerial. I think she'll take bumps, or she'll get involved in matches and she'll have a similar role to what MVP does. You know, occasionally you'll see a match here and there, but I don't think that I just don't think that her wrestling talent is there. But put a microphone in this woman's hand and it's gold, right? So
100%. Let
her be out there with literally anybody that can't talk. I mean, even if the plan is to put her with Karrion Kross, but they're not bringing up Scarlett or something.
Well, the report is that they're gonna let Scarlett wrestle. They're not bringing them up as a package deal, Derek. They're gonna bring them up together, but separately. So
I mean, Scarlett's not bad in the ring. I don't know. I feel like she'll get lost amongst the other blondes. We were just talking about Piper Niven, how she's very like different, than everybody else, and how that makes her stand out. I feel like Scarlett's just like, well, let's throw another blonde in the mix, and it's not that she's not that she's not that she doesn't bring her own flair, but it's not going to be wrestling in wrestling gear. You know, that's not her strong suit. Let's be fair.
She's a talker.
Yeah, and so I do think that that will be to her detriment, only because there's so many other just tall, skinny blonde girls out in there, and I think clearly they've got Charlotte, they've got the best one, and nobody compares to that, and then they're high-ish, they're high enough on Liv Morgan not to fire her, but.
She's getting a little push.
They have very, very few valets within the company, so I don't see the problem with bringing them up as a package. Like,
I agree.
I agree too, pal. But like, we haven't seen much of that in the past. In the past, however many years, and I don't know if that's necessarily a model that Vince is wanting to use right now. Is to have valets. I mean,
maybe not necessarily a ton of them, but I do think that Scarlett as one, and maybe Zelina Vega as two, I think that's enough. Everybody doesn't need one, but
sure.
I feel like two is fine, especially if they're on separate brands. Like you put Scarlett on Raw and you put Zelina Vega on SmackDown.
How about Zelina Vega coming back to SmackDown? Yeah. Raw is just down, and it just keeps getting kicked in the freaking head.
Like, not even getting kicked. It's just like there isn't even a pop for it. It's like,
oh my god, did you see? To give it any sort of injection?
There's no. Oh my god, did you see what happened on Raw? No.
And
nothing happened. Literally nothing happened.
Derek, I'm glad you brought that up, because that kind of pushes the point that I was going to make about this Zelina Vega thing. If you're going to just kind of relegate her to the women's mid card, you're going to bring her back on Raw and you're going to give them a little bit of a shot in the arm, right? But you bring her back on SmackDown, where obviously that is the most powerful women's division right now. as far as its exposure and where it's at. I mean, you've got Bayley, you've got Bianca Belair, that all that stuff that's going on. Yeah, but you got Charlotte and Rhea on Raw, but that's not nearly as noteworthy as what is going on with Bayley and Bianca and all that stuff over on SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? Like how many times a week do we come in here and we're like, yo, Bayley killed it. Bayley.
It's Bayley.
I am way more into her and Bianca. Bianca's
I'm gonna agree with you, pal. I'm way more into that than I am Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. And
Bayley's segment this week, she didn't even wrestle this week. Bayley's segment challenging Bianca this week was where was not only was Bayley was always good, but good God, this is the best character I've maybe ever seen ever.
Yeah, I mean, you said it a couple weeks ago, Tom. She's playing drunk Aunt Bayley.
Oh,
it's
God,
awesome.
I love it. Oh, it's the best thing to watch. Oh, when they're like Bayley's up next, I'm like, fucking, I'm watching this. Fuck.
Right? You don't turn channel off.
Absolutely not. I want to see that with my eyeballs.
So that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you're gonna put Zelina Vega on SmackDown. Don't tell me that she's gonna be a voice for somebody, because I'm not buying that. I'm not.
No, I mean, you're probably right, but it's
gonna be a voice for herself.
Yeah, but you're just gonna job her out. Like, what's gonna happen? Because that's all she ever was, really.
Well, maybe her time away, she polished off some rough edges. We don't know. It's yet to be seen.
She was always very athletic, and I do think that she could be good in that role. But she's not. Man, it's hard because it's like, they keep. I feel like they kept Liv Morgan around as like the rag doll, right? Like, yeah. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago. That's, same thing with Ruby, although they got rid of Ruby. But they need somebody to ragdoll around, and I don't know that are they going to do that with Zelina now instead of now that they've gotten rid? Are they just going to ragdoll? Because she's very athletic and she could take you could throw her and she can do a little flippy do and come back to her feet or whatever, take a sympathetic bump, things like that.
So I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying, right? But think about it from this perspective, because the two of you just discussed this. You're not going to lose her in the mix.
No.
She doesn't look like anything.
You're right. No,
that the women's division has to offer.
You're right. I mean, I would say, you could potentially, depending on what her ring gear looks like, but Sasha's hair's blue. But she and Sasha could have similar looks and have at times had similar ring gear, and they're about the same height and they're both kind of dark complected and stuff like that. But Sasha's hair is blue or purple or whatever color it is. Is Sasha out right now?
She's taking some time off. Like I said, she was at the PC for the mandated training this past week and the scouting thing. But
I think she's doing a movie or something, or she's filming The Mandalorian, or she's filming something.
I think she's filming Mando.
Either Mando or that or the Snip series.
Yeah,
she's doing one of those Disney series. So she's not on TV right now, but they do that in Orlando, so it's good that she's there.
Well, that's good.
She's at home.
Yeah. So I mean, I do. I think that we're going to see some good stuff out of this Zelina Vega return. I definitely would not sleep on this if I were a fan that is trying to sleep on it, because I think that it's got a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
It's going to bring more eyeballs next week because she's back. And
also,
it was all over the Twitter machines.
Speaking of Twitter, she deleted the unionization tweet about an hour before she made her return to SmackDown.
Well, maybe that was part of the deal.
Maybe. What about her Twitch or whatever other streaming platform?
I think they let her do it.
Okay. Am I wrong? I know that was a big sticking point before.
I heard that she is taking a brief hiatus from Twitch. So I'm assuming that they're working something out, because I'm pretty sure that Tommy End said that she's going to take some time off on his Twitch stream. So
he was on her Twitch stream not 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
He gave a heartfelt discussion.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of heartfelt discussions, I've been bouncing around this for the last 3 weeks, and I really have to talk about this, guys, because I can't fucking take it anymore. I can't fucking take it anymore.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, and this is probably going to be one of the least important things that we've ever talked about.
It is. I agree.
I just
finally come over to the other side.
I can't fucking let it go. I have to talk about this.
Go ahead,
dude. Lana was on Talk Is Jericho this week.
Why did you listen to that?
I didn't.
Okay.
Usually, when a disgruntled released WWE star goes to Talk Is Jericho, it's always awesome, right? Moxley just let the entire world of frustration out on Talk Is Jericho.
This was very good,
and it was awesome.
Oh, how are you, Renee?
But now, Lana's done it. Okay, I can't take this shit anymore.
So does that bury Chris Jericho for you? Does that bury Talk Is Jericho?
Yeah, probably a little bit. So she goes on and she acts like she had any sense of fucking importance or relevancy to begin with, right? You were Rusev's chick. That's it. Okay? You were there for people to look at. Right? You were never intended to be in the ring. You were never intended to be a world champion.
The last true valet, right?
Yes. You were never intended for any of these things. You learned how to wrestle along the way. You learned how to wrestle very poorly along the way. And on top of that, you got yourself put into a tag team championship with Asuka. All right, an opportunity, and you went through a table for 14 straight weeks, and then you tried to do a table spot at Survivor Series, and Roman Reigns said, "We don't do that. The head of the table has a table spot, so Lana will have no table spot." And she was pissed about that. Why? Who are you? You're nobody. Okay. Right. So then she goes and she's talking about all this shit about how WWE is unfair and WWE doesn't do this and they cater to this guy and they cater to this woman and they don't give these people
to make the money.
They don't give these people opportunities. And then she's got the fucking audacity to release a statement, okay, thanking Vince McMahon.
I saw that too.
I can't. She got a text from Vinnie Mac, right? She goes, "I got a text from Vince. Definitely got emotional about it. It was just goodbye for me. He thanked me for incredible work ethic and for my unrelenting desire to be the best that I could be and all the contributions I gave to WWE." Is this bitch just trying to stay relevant or what?
So I was like, man, why wouldn't she just put that text? Why wouldn't she screen grab the text and just put it out there if Vince actually did it? Either one, she's lying, or two, it's filthy. it's like Vince McMahon speak that Vince McMahon was like, don't put this out on the internet, but you're a smoking hot bitch. I want to thank you for showing me your smoking hot body. It's got to be there's got to be that it's either filthy or it's just it didn't happen. There's no in between. There's no in between. It's either filthy or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's and listen, here's the thing. She's got tons of potential elsewhere, right? She's got a fashion career and all this other
modeling career, TV career.
Go do that shit. Stay away from wrestling.
Make just TikTok videos. That's you're better at that than wrestling.
Just go. Just go away. Go away.
Oh, she's going to AEW, bro. What are you talking about?
No,
they're going to sign her to AEW.
No.
It's going to happen.
Away. If they sign her to AEW, that's crazy.
It's going to happen.
Crazy talk. Because of
whatever. How long has it been now? It's probably been 12, 13 days since she's been released.
Yeah.
Crazy talk.
So she's got, more or less
2.5
75
months.
days left. So in 75 days.
Crazy talk.
Is it a Wednesday? 75 days from now?
Crazy talk.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're probably right, but the fact of the matter is, if this is the worst financial decision in the history of AEW, and we can all agree they've made some sketchy financial decisions.
The worst financial decision in the history of AEW so far.
It's true.
Fair. That's fair.
Is it worse than Joey Janela though?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's definitely worse than Joey Janela.
I mean, at least he's a better wrestler than Lana.
Yes,
not by a whole lot.
That's the only person in the world he's a better wrestler than.
It's just Lana. It's just Lana.
But like, you're better than the TikTok star. Good job.
It's insane. It's insanity to me that, like, you know, I have to sit here and I have to talk about this because the dirt sheets and the internet wrestling community is giving this airtime. So I feel the need that I have to come in here and talk about it. Right. Like, this is the most, like, keeping up with the Kardashians bullshit that I've ever heard in professional wrestling in my entire fucking life. That show was really
popular for a long time.
Yeah, well, and so was Lana, right? She was just super popular. You know, I bought tickets for March 16th, 2020, Monday Night Raw to see Lana. Not because Stone Cold was going to be there. I wanted to see Lana. That's why I was going to go. I wanted not because The Undertaker was going to be there, because Lana was going to be there. That's why I bought tickets to that show.
Nobody was there.
Well, I'm glad to hear you finally admit that.
I know it got canceled, but you know, I missed out that, you know, I didn't get to see Lana.
Well, your sarcasm is not very good. You need to work on that a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about. That is as genuine as genuine gets.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it's real genuine. As far as Lana is concerned, I'm surprised it took you this long to get pissed about her. Truthfully,
well, I was pissed 5 weeks ago. I was pissed 5 weeks ago, but Derek over here says, "I'll take Bobby Lashley's dick for $200." Like, what?
Oh, so wait, that's where we were gonna go with that. That
kind of threw him off track last time.
You ruined the Lana rant when she got fired because you brought up Bobby Lashley's dick.
He bus rolled me.
Fair enough.
Basically, I was like, this episode's getting long. How can I just stop this from happening?
It's hard pod. It got worse, though. It got worse, though.
It did.
It really fucking
went downhill from there.
So, I saw something this week, guys, that kind of hit me in my heart. Vince McMahon has been accused by a former talent.
Just one?
He feels that the WWE Tag Team division can't draw money.
I mean, the New Day say that you're wrong.
The Usos say that you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the Usos aren't really a tag team right now, though. But yes.
They are, but
the Hardys, they were a thing. They were big. They were huge.
Who? Do we know who this former talent was?
I sure do.
Oh.
Hey, Tucky.
Oh, okay. God, could there be okay, so you're sick of Lana, right?
Yeah.
I'm fucking sick of Tucker. Like, this guy rode the coattails of the guy who was obviously the star, right? Let's not joke around and be like, oh yeah, Otis was nothing without Tucker. Clearly, if you continue to watch TV, that's not the case. Two, what was your favorite Tucker match? Anybody? All night Tucker night. Nobody. Crickets. Chirp, chirp. Clearly, there's money in the tag division. Clearly, honestly, it's been getting a lot better. Tucker, not to be extra mean to Tucker, although I've already buried him a little bit. Otis, much better without him.
100%.
Did you see SmackDown this week?
100%.
Did you see, like, him? Oh my God, the heel tag team Chad Gable and him and heel. It's so much. It's like that's what he was missing. Like the guy who was actually good at wrestling, and then he's the show, right? Like
much fun.
Like, how fun is that?
It's not fun like Heavy Machinery was fun, like with the but like it's fun because we know that was that guy, and now you've got this like just dead face killer that just comes out and
he's not like he would never have been like Otis. Now will be probably they'll probably change his name. Otis, it probably won't be Otis, but like WWE champion Otis, that probably won't happen. But he'll have to have a different name. But like he could now be somebody. Like he could be a main event. Like with Tucker, he's the Bushwhackers, right?
Yeah,
they're the Bushwhackers.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
but now like he could legitimately be a WWE champion at some point. Right?
I feel like he would have to be like a Mr. He needs a Mr. name.
Right. Like, yeah, he could be like Mr. fucking kill you or something. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, like we had Mr. Big back in the day, like, you know, something like that. Like
was Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah, like just I could get behind a Mr. Otis.
I mean, I think they just need to give him a name, a new name.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Go with like
Mr. Something that's not Otis.
Yeah, whatever. Like they did it with like Mabel.
Yeah.
Mabel to Viscera. Like, they do something like that.
Yeah.
Although as Mabel, he was King of the Ring, right?
Yes. Yes.
But
and
Otis
actually
was a much better wrestler than Mabel ever was.
Yes. Speaking, I mean, and you want to talk about like Otis, you know, like that's like the 2021 Vader right now, you know, like
yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously you think that Brodus Clay is that guy. You know, I'm sorry. Bronson Reed. I apologize. You know, they favor each other. They're both bad in the ring. Like, I'm sorry. So like you want to say that Bronson Reed's that guy, and I think it's Otis. Otis is the Vader.
I just want to say that Bronson Reed's the guy. Bronson Reed is more Rikishi. He's Rikishi.
But he's not funny.
I mean,
Rikishi danced.
No, I disagree. He's kind of funny.
Yeah, funny looking in the ring.
Let's play with that squish. Yeah, okay, all right.
He's got that accent though. He says "mate." He did do that. That was
very like it's real hard to take an Australian seriously. Even if he is part Samoan, it's real hard to take it Australian.
Even if you're yelling at me, I don't think you're scaring me because you just sound different.
Listen here, mate. I'm going to squish you. I mean, Rhea Ripley's got the same accent, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
and Dakota Kai.
I'm not doing this. I can't.
And Indy Hartwell.
Bro, they're gonna put the title on Bronson Reed. I just
no.
Yeah,
maybe
they're gonna put.
Vince's gonna fall in love with his giant, unathletic looking.
I can't.
I mean, Vince does love thick guys.
I can't.
Yep.
Like, listen.
Walt, you should go to the performance center.
There's got to be somebody out there that agrees with me in this world. Like, I can't be the only one that thinks this dude is just a trash bag. Like, I can't be the only one.
He's good. He's fun to watch.
I mean, I don't have strong feelings of hate towards him.
It doesn't do it for me, man.
Man, I think he's cut for the WWE though. Like, he's not cut out to do these long form, work rate matches. He's not a work rate guy. He's a splash spot, big man press. He's a spectacle, right? It should look like he hurt this guy in like 4 or 5 moves, smashed him through a table or something, smashed him through, like crushed him through the thing, dragged him back into the ring all limp after he smashed him, and then like smashed him again, 1, 2, 3, and like that's what it should look like. And he's that kind of guy. He's that kind of, like, I don't want to see him wrestle for more than like 5 or 6 minutes. I want to see him, take a look, like, take some big hits, but like stand up and get all knobby-kneed and wobbly, and then like actually smash some dudes. And that's kind of how I want him to be booked. But nobody's booked that way in NXT. So it looks like, oh man, he sucks at work. He sucks at wrestling. But it's like he gets put in these work rate matches. He's not a work rate kind of guy. Like that's just not going to be his gimmick. Yeah,
well, I mean, he had a 34-minute match with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, that's Johnny Gargano's match.
And Johnny carried the match because
that's Johnny's match. Like, he shouldn't be like Rikishi couldn't in his prime couldn't have done a 34-minute match with Johnny Gargano.
No, I mean nobody.
Hulk Hogan could have never done a 34-minute match. The fucking Macho Man could not have done a 34-minute match.
Listen, Hogan didn't do 34 minutes in a week, pal.
No,
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, if for somebody who likes some of the new, some of the old. Every match can't go 25, 30, 40 minutes. It just can't. And it shouldn't. And I like that Bronson Reed can just crush a guy, and beat a guy in a squash match very believably. And at the same time, like, even if the match goes 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, he hangs with that. You know, he did those 30-minute matches, and they weren't terrible
like
matches.
Shit doing it.
No, they weren't that bad.
They weren't bad
fun.
because Johnny carried them. That's why.
Okay, it was a C. It was a look. Those matches would have been 100 times worse.
It was a C, all right. It was a C of depression, is what it was, pal. Man, you know, you talk about chicken tender matches, bro.
I wish I had some chicken tenders right now.
I went to the freezer twice during that match, bud.
Some dippy sauce.
Like
some dippy sauce.
Yeah, you prefer teriyaki.
No, I like the buffalo, and I like to mix it with a little bit of ranch.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Maybe with some blue cheese. Depends on what we got. What do I got in the fridge? I don't know. Something creamy, deliciousness.
So let's circle back here. Tag team division. Derek, do you think the tag team division is capable of drawing big time money for WWE?
You know what I think has happened is
you agree with Tucky, don't you?
AEW has been doing with the tag team division, and sees, look over there, where they have all these tag teams, and they're over, and they're having tag team matches all the time, and then I'm gonna go work on mine that has like 3 freaking teams in it. No, I don't think he has a lot of interest in it. I think all he's trying to do is counter program. And I'm not trying to take Tucky's side. It's just I don't think Vince sees it as a priority. He sees it more as, if this show over here is going to have it and people are wanting to watch that, then I need to have it too. It's not so much how he feels personally about it. I really don't think he gives a crap either way. I think he just cares about, if these guys are going to have it, I want it on my programming too. So that way there's nothing that they can say, well, if you want it, we've got it here. And the big guys up north have this.
I want to point out that the Young Bucks are the worst tag champs that AEW has ever had. Like, by a lot. They're so bad. They're the worst champions. They're the worst champions that AEW has ever had.
Hey, Derek, in case you're unaware, that's Tom poking you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. They're not.
Who was the worst champion than the Young Bucks then in AEW?
Who was worse than the Young Bucks?
Who was worse?
I don't know.
Is it Kenny Omega currently? Those are your options.
What?
It's either the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega currently. Who was the worst champion?
If I had the option, I would get rid of Kenny. You want me to get rid of one of those two?
So no, but I'm just saying,
watch.
Who was the worst champion? The Young Bucks or any other champion ever in the history of AEW? Because there haven't been that many.
No, there really haven't been that many. There was 8. Well, I tell you what was worse. Kenny and Hangman. That was a shitty tag team.
Yeah, but it was building the story blocks for what we're getting right now, pal.
That wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree. I agree that Kenny is shittier. However, Hangman is better than all 3 of those jabronis.
Hangman is good.
So
I did not like them as a tag team though, and they were champions.
Okay, well then, has there been anybody worse than that? So we'll say second.
Drink some whiskey.
Then they can be the second worst champion.
No, I don't know.
Has there been anybody worse?
I'd have to pull up who else was there.
Is it Kenny Omega again? Are we going to put Kenny? Is it like the worst is Kenny Omega, and then the Young Bucks?
Man, I don't love the Young Bucks, but I don't hate the Young Bucks.
So we're going to say that the worst champions were Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks.
I'm still drinking whiskey.
Yep. Okay.
Right? I think that's where we are.
Yep.
All right. So worst AEW champions: Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, in some order.
Yes.
Kenny Omega, you can swap his bullshit, but Kenny, Young Bucks. That's fine. I'll throw Hangman under the bus.
Derek.
I'll throw Hangman under the bus.
I'm guessing you guys are not wanting to go with me to the Pittsburgh show next.
I'll go.
I kind of want to go. Actually.
I'll go.
Oh, do you?
It's at the freaking Pete, though. I don't really want to park. Like,
the Pete's parking so bad at the Pete.
I don't really want to park.
Yeah, I'll totally go, pal. I mean,
like, could we God, listen, like a $30 Uber,
bro.
Split an Uber.
We could do that.
It might be 100%. Better than paying for parking.
100%.
Or driving. Then we could drink.
I don't think I've ever been to the St. Petersburg Event Center, so I don't know what that
sucks.
was.
It's the worst. Yeah. We're gonna sit on bleachers. It's awful. It's real bad.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, it's real bad. Our asses are gonna hurt, and our backs are gonna hurt.
But it'll be good. Nice. We'll go definitely.
We're gonna be pressed up next to other people.
Let's plan that off air. But
okay.
So I got a point to make here, real quick, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Bro, you just Tom just slathers you in barbecue sauce and just eats you up when it comes to Kenny Omega, bud.
I know. I can't defend the shit. He sucks. His Japan career was thousands of times better. I know. I don't know.
With that.
I got nothing.
Nobody's going to disagree.
That clearly was Okada. It is what it is. He was with.
But I don't hate these. Okay, here's the only thing I hate about the Young Bucks, though, is that they're the freaking opening match every week. And, it's basically, as you guys would say, on this week's opening match was Young Bucks are going to Young Bucks, and Penta is going to Penta, and Zero Miedo.
How many times?
It's how many times? Thank you. Yep.
How many times do I have to watch this match? I don't care that Penta has a different. I don't care that Penta has a different partner every time for the hot tag, but it's like what?
Why is Penta dressed up like the Joker now?
I'm into it. That was his Double or Nothing.
How many years ago was this movie out though? Guys,
there hasn't been anything about Joker for a while. Yeah, he maybe just watched it.
Maybe that's what.
Or maybe now that it's not so relevant, he's now it's cool to do this.
But y'all are dogging on Penta looking like the Joker, but yet a couple weeks ago we came in here and we sucked on Rey Mysterio's Pepe for dressing like 1960s Batman.
I never will suck on Rey Mysterio. Not a big fan of his. I mean, old Ray is great. I'm not
dogging on it so much. I think it's cool. The Penta gear looks all right, but it was still Penta with a partner versus the Young Bucks, and it opened the show, and it's like, oh, I've seen this match before.
It was good though. I mean, honestly,
you shut it off, and I never came back. I'm
watching the show. I was literally thinking to myself, save some fucking crowd for the rest of them, boys.
So
here's the first time they've had loud crowds. Hold on.
Can I guess what happened in this match, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong?
Yeah.
This is a whiskey call.
Hold on. There was somebody did a tope suicida. Maybe three. There maybe were three. Were there three? There were at least two.
There's at least two. Yes, I'll give you that.
Okay. And everybody caught him, right? And they went to a commercial. And they went to a commercial.
That was part of the finish. Yep. That
okay.
Was the big,
it wasn't the finish. Oh, okay, that's Jesus. Different. They didn't go to a commercial. Penta did Zero Miedo. Yeah.
That was there
while the opponent was down, in the middle of the ring. He was all
unbelievable.
Well, he doesn't make a face. He's clearly got a mask on. Okay, so that happened. There was a super kick party.
I can't specifically remember one. I'm sure there had to have been. I was folding laundry as I was watching, so
if they didn't hit the Meltzer driver, they at least set up for the Meltzer driver.
Who
won this match?
Motherfuckers.
It was a fucked up finish at the end.
So, but I just called the match.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Listen, at this point,
the
guys,
part where Nakazawa though comes in and interferes, and
wait, hold on. It gets better. The worst. The dumbest idiot in wrestling, Michael Nakazawa, came. Did he pour lube on his crotch?
No, even better. He had the spray cold cans, and he's trying to spray to interfere, and he gets Nick Jackson instead, and he just keeps spraying because he's so stupid. And,
I'm so disappointed right now.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Why would I want to watch that?
Guys, do you? I could cut an entire episode of you guys having this conversation.
Get at it. I really like that I just called the match I didn't watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was more or less on the money.
Tune in next week for WWE Dynamite.
Turn in next week for WWE Dynamite, where we have the same match. Penta's partner, though, might be Pac.
Yeah.
It might be Pac next week.
Swapping it up next time.
And it might be a little more interesting because Pac is a little more interesting of a wrestler, but it could be, Eddie Kingston. So fuck.
Well, it is going to be Eddie Kingston because they got they won the number one contenders with that match that you called that you didn't watch.
Yes, I know.
So I gotta speak on Eddie Kingston real quick, and then we'll hit match of the week. Okay, and Derek, I talked to you about this a little bit. So Dynamite goes off the air, and Eddie Kingston cuts a promo taking jabs at WWE. Man, I'm not about this anymore. I'm not. And like I think that Derek thought that I was going to come in here and I was going to shit all over Eddie Kingston and stuff like that, but I'm just not. It was brought to my attention that Bully Ray kind of said what I felt, because I haven't listened to Busted Open in a couple of weeks. So apparently Bully Ray said that Eddie Kingston needs to stay in his fucking lane, and I would agree with that because here's the thing. Eddie Kingston is a top-notch microphone talent, and and he can go in the ring and he can do his little brawls and make me believe that he's something that he's actually not. And my man has put in years and years and years worth of work to finally get to the national stage. I don't think that he of anybody should be taking jabs at WWE, a place that he's never worked. Place that he's never been. I mean, he had a tryout for him. It didn't go very well. Bro, just be you, man. Like, you're out there, you're winning guys over like me because you can talk. And I enjoy that shit. And you can tell that when he speaks, it comes from a place of passion and a place of love. And that was kind of the defense that he took. He made a statement, and that was kind of the defense that he took was that, it just comes from a place of passion. And that's great because you can tell that it does. But man, like these jabs at WWE from AEW, I feel like we're 2 years into this thing now. Like, let's just move past it.
It's too much.
I want you guys. I want AEW to be successful. I want them to captivate me week over week. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Tom and I came in here and we were like two little fucking schoolgirls gushing over our crush a couple of weeks ago, after Double or Nothing. And man, like, just keep doing what you're doing, man, and keep building. And let's stop taking pot shots at WWE because WWE is going to WWE just like the Young Bucks are going to Young Buck. Like, I like the fact that AEW is not scared to admit and, speak about the existence of the other companies. I think that that's where, like, they make their product a little bit more on the believable piece of it because, like, you look at it from a standpoint of, these are guys doing a job, right? They're here to entertain us, as to where WWE wants you to believe that this is the way that these people are 24/7. Like, this is like actual people, not people portraying characters. So, like, the character work in WWE is much higher, much more in depth, right? As to where you watch AEW and it's like, oh, this is a guy doing a job. Like, this is his work. This is how he provides for his family. And you don't get that vibe when you watch WWE. So, like, I'm starting to see where, like, the difference is between the two companies and, like, what their presentation is. And as I start to see that a little bit more, maybe my appreciation level for AEW will rise a little bit because I'm not keeping it inside the same bubble as this other product. But at the end of the day, for me, you've got to back it up in the ring, and I'm not quite there yet. So Eddie Kingston just needs to stay his path and do his thing and stop worrying about WWE.
It felt petty to me, like very because I didn't watch it live, but it saw it after the fact, obviously. It felt petty. It's like, well, what? Why? Why would you, like, you're clearly, it's like the guy who's on, like, CSI Miami being upset about the guy who's on like Chicago Fire. It's like they're different products. Like they're clearly still dramas, right?
Right.
They're about like critical situations and blah blah blah. But it's like you're not going for the same thing. You're not going for the same audience. You're more of a like mainstream indie wrestling show, whereas WWE is more, big characters entertainment.
Vince said it himself. They make movies.
Yeah, they inject friggin' talk shows in the middle of their shows, and they don't really do that on AEW. I hope they never turn to that on AEW. But for Eddie Kingston to have a chip on his shoulder about it is telling. I don't want to say it's telling, but it's like one of those things where it's just like, what's your problem? Like, why do you care? Like, you shouldn't care. And the fact that you care is really only giving credence to the other product. Like, just let it go and be you. Like, do your product. Wrestling is wrestling, obviously, but at the same time, like, you don't have to bring up the other product, especially when the other product puts on 2 shows every week that are better than yours. There's obviously Raw probably not better than Dynamite most weeks. Most weeks it's not. But I would say SmackDown certainly is, and NXT generally is as well. So I don't know if he's got a chip on his shoulder for that he's not been called to NXT, maybe. That he thinks he belongs there. I don't think he does. I don't think he's got that work rate. I think he would be like the worst worker in NXT. Like, it's not his thing. Like, those aren't his matches. But
I think he's meant to be where he's at.
Yeah, stay in your lane and do what you're doing, because thankfully somebody's got a product that you fit in.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep doing it because he's a star. There.
Yes, 100%. Derek, I'm interested to see your take on this, because I feel like you thought that I was going to come in here and I was going to shit all over Eddie Kingston. And the look on your face tells me that you are not prepared to have this conversation.
No, this is not what I was expecting at all. But
I appreciate your honesty.
I really think, though, that this whole situation's honestly gotten overblown for what it is.
Yeah, probably.
Because the statement wasn't even made on television. This never aired on television. This was after the fact, to the live crowd, and only to the live crowd.
But bro, we live in a digital age, pal. So like,
we do.
My man knew that whatever he said in that ring post show was going to see the light of day.
I guess it's just still, maybe it's just the way that I kind of grew up without the internet at first, and so I'm not like thinking of it in that nature. As far as I'm concerned, if it happens on live TV, then yes, that's a huge issue. Probably should have just kept your mouth shut and went along about your business. But man, if you're going to be there at the live crowd, he's just trying to get people fired up. He's happy. He's got a live crowd for the first time in over a year. Happy to see some faces. Have him a good time. Give him a good show. Give him something to go home and talk about. Instead, it's turned into this firestorm of, Eddie Kingston just better shut the fuck up because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Blah, 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 blah. He's never been WWE.
No, I mean, I think you're right in that regard, and I think that, he clearly did. And, maybe us talking about it is what he wanted, us and other people and Bully Ray
exactly.
And whomever else. Yeah, that's probably what he wanted. And, it doesn't hurt his status in AEW.
No.
So, is it a let's generate some heat and let's generate some talk? And he did that. So good for him on that regard. But just to address what he said particularly, it's starting to get a little cheap. It's a little bit of cheap heat, it's a little bit cheap. And that's all. I think that's the point. Like, so if it's done and over at this point, I agree. Then maybe it was overblown and it's done. I feel like it's been done maybe a few too many times. It was maybe 1 or 2 too many times the last time. This is maybe 3 or 4 too many times, and maybe it just needs to be done. So
I would agree with that. I think that the pot shots need to stop. Gentlemen, match of the week.
Match of the week. Oh, I get to start, huh?
Yeah. That's your cue, bud.
Okay, well, I gotta talk about 2 honorable mentions then this week.
Ooh,
because
really?
Xia Li roundhouse kicked Mercedes Martinez in the goddamn head and knocked her stupid, concussed her, and it was scurry. And
she might never be the same again.
So I got to talk about it because otherwise, like, that was a really good match and that was a scary spot. It was a good looking roundhouse kick. I think she'll be all right. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think she'll be all right. She says she's going to be okay. So there's that. The other one I want to honorable mention is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, where Kevin Owens just powerbombed Sami Zayn through everything he could find. It wasn't much of a match, but it was fun to watch because I like it when that kind of shit happens. So that was a lot of fun to me also. However, the match of the week was a squash match for me. And I really like squash matches. I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe you do. Squash match. Angelo Dawkins versus Otis. Otis just fucking killed him. He just squashed him. Squashed Dawkins. Beat him in short and decisive fashion. And finished him off with a Vader bomb, which I popped for real hard. And that was my match of the week because I can't remember a wrestling match making me that happy in that short of amount of time for quite a while. And Otis finishing him off with the Vader bomb. I talked about Vader earlier. We were talking about Viper, Piper, Niven. And so that for me was the match of the week, not because it was just so technically amazing. But because we need more squash matches in wrestling. I feel like I've said this before, and I got it in the way that I wanted it. And I'm not the biggest Angelo Dawkins fan, and he took it. But you know what? Now I like Dawkins because he really took it like he good on Dawkins for being the guy to get squashed. Good on Otis for the squash. It looked great. It was great. It was fun.
I need to take Angelo Dawkins off TV at this point.
No, yeah, man, poor Dawkins.
No.
100%.
No. I mean, maybe, but no.
They're hurting the Street Profits stock right now.
Yes. You just got to wait until surgery or whatever is complete, and
they're not going to be able to recreate the main event Jey Uso magic with Angelo.
No, you're right. They're not. But I mean, maybe that's what the point of this was, to squash Dawkins and then take him off TV.
Because they have been beating the ever-loving piss out of him for the last couple of weeks.
Really have.
I mean, I think all of us can agree as well that he's obviously the weaker of the two in that tag team as well. So
he's the guy.
The fact that he remains on TV is questionable.
So obviously, Montez Ford is the hot tag, right? So Dawkins is the guy that sells and gets beat and whatever, and then Ford's the hot tag, and he comes in and goes nuts and does the huge jumps and the big flips and the high fly stuff. The reason this, like, Dawkins really sold this match for me, though. Like, squash matches, like when you just have a jobber in there getting squashed, like, to me that's like, kind of not. It's whatever, right? It's we're not going to see that anymore in WWE, allegedly, as long as Vince is around, because matches are supposed to mean stuff now. But Dawkins, I feel like, did the right thing. So, no, I'm fine. You take Dawkins off TV until Montez Ford's back. But for that match, if that's his, like, I'm out till Montez is back match, good for him. And that put him up on a higher level of dude on my book. But, yeah, that was my match of the week.
Cool. Derek?
Well, it's already been touched on, but I am going with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I love some Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens matches. They're always good. There's never bad ones. And Sami with his whole, shtick as far as, there's people after him and stuff. He's kind of conspiracy theory shit. I love it. I love what Sammy's got going on. Kevin just powerbombing the shit out of him everywhere. It's good times. Good times. You're never going to have a bad match with them.
No.
It's great
I would
for
agree
TV.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Sammy had a bad time. But he posted Twitter after that. He had big welts on his back. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
He took some beating there. You're going to have that. I will say, though, honorable mention, I got to point out that Jungle Boy, he won his 50th match of the year. And this is the first time in AEW that a wrestler has hit 50. So that's exciting. And also, before I have a JR moment, Jungle Boy Jack Perry fought Jack Evans. Imagine what a bitch that was. I was paying attention, and JR kept it straight the whole time. I was impressed. So I was like, he's going to fuck this up. You watch.
Listen, but there's no question in JR is a fucking legend, pal. Like, and I understand. No. I understand why he makes the mistakes that he does. I mean, he spent 25 plus years with the WWE. Like, it probably just rolls off his tongue like, by God. But
as a top guy,
yeah,
just rolling with the words. He's not thinking. He's just talking.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt. All right. So my match of the week was also a squash match on Tuesday night, NXT. Cameron Grimes versus Ari Sterling.
I almost mentioned that, but that's the Cameron Grimes I like.
That's exactly like, he came out, he did his thing, beat the fuck out of somebody. Obviously, that match was designed for the post-match promo with LA Knight to set that storyline even further. That's such a fun little feud, man.
It's really rebuilding Cameron Grimes after they kind of buried him for Dexter Lumis.
Yes.
Who's been doing nothing.
Yeah.
That sucks. But Cameron Grimes to the moon. I would be shocked if they don't pull Cameron Grimes up. Cameron Grimes to me is Elias. Like, they're going to pull him up to the main roster and they're going to give him a segment every week. And they maybe never will put a title on him, but it won't matter because he can just go out there and take 10 minutes every week. So that's, I think, what's going to happen with him. I don't know that he'll be, a tippy-top superstar, but, he'll be the Elias. He'll be the honky-tonk man. He'll be that kind of guy. And,
best damn intercontinental heavyweight champion of all time, baby.
Woo. Absolutely, baby. Woo. Longest reigning.
Gentlemen, pretty good show today. Glad to see that you two kissed and made up.
I
make kisses.
It takes a week. No big deal.
Yeah.
Whenever you make the amount of money we guys do with these shows, we got to make it. We'll get over it. Money heals all wounds.
Who's making
money?
Yeah,
you guys aren't? Do you guys not get? No?
You're getting paid?
Yeah,
I've been
paid.
Getting checks. Yeah.
Huh. You guess split.
You mean the checks from that Ethiopian prince aren't real?
What? Are they cashing?
I mean,
you're just stacking them up over there, huh?
I don't know, man. I bet you my bank account's in the negative.
You might want to go check that out, bud.
Well, shit.
Damn.
I thought we were getting real famous.
Well, speaking of being famous, why don't you go check us out on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. Check us out on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know that we exist. Please like and subscribe. We would appreciate it. Feel free to comment down below this video. We will answer them. We may answer them live on air. We may answer them in the chat. It just depends on what kind of strikes our fancy at that point in time.
I'm fancy all the time.
Yeah, Tom is definitely fancy all the time. Don't forget to check out Tom over at Throws and Brews. Check out the Zipline String Yo-Yo. What was
There's
Yo-Yo?
only 2 left, so they're probably gone at this point.
Okay, so
sorry, you missed. Y'all missed that.
We did miss out. So
that. Well, they might still be on you like Yo-Yo Expert and stuff, but the Zipline ones are gone.
Check out yoyoexpert.com then. And check out the guitarist Tom's second.
Probably Yo-Yo Sam. They may have some too.
Yo-Yo Sam. Check out Tom's second signature yo-yo release, The Guitarist. Yeah. Derek, you got anything to add, bud?
I don't have one here.
I got nothing. Do you want me to do the closing? Is this what you want?
Here's a fun
me,
monkey
Walter?
finger, yeah.
Oh, that's hey,
it's
yeah,
real
and
pretty.
And
I was over here
yo-yos,
shopping for Tom's yo-yo, man.
If you're into yo-yos, make sure you check out Tom's channel, Throws and Brews. He would greatly appreciate that as well. With all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.
Peace.